Welcome to the Germany Scholar Program. I'll give you a very brief introduction about the Germany Scholar Program. Maharshi Germany is a very great rishi. He is the author of the Mimamsa Sutras. Now, Mimamsa means who can speak on Mimamsa? Only one has the complete knowledge can give a Mimamsa on the subject. So, we must understand that we are entering a book on Jyotish, which is the final authority of all that is Jyotish. His words are not shlokas. There are no shlokas. They are sutras. Shloka is something which has a very definite meaning. It is limited. It has a boundary. A sutra does not have a boundary. It is boundless. It is like a thread that can keep on and on and on and on, and it keeps weaving knowledge. So that is the meaning of a sutra. So each of these sutras in Jaimini Sutra or Maharshi Jaimini Krita Upadesha Sutra, they are actually Upadesha Sutras. Upadesha is an Upadesha of a Guru. Therefore, Upadesha can only be given by a Guru and it has to be heard by the Sishya. If you don't hear the Upadesha, you really are not getting the Sutra. So you have to verbally hear it from the Guru in order to learn the Sutra. Now, that is the essence. We will go into more details in the contact classes. Germany, as I said, is one of the most important rishis. Now, Germany has the power to communicate with birds. These great rishis had tremendous powers and they could communicate with birds, they could communicate with animals, they could communicate with nature, which means that language is really not a barrier for them. But language is for us because we need a language to communicate. Now, what I will do is to show you the breadth. I will take one sutra, sutra number 1.35. Now, whenever you see these sutras of Germany are in numbers like this, 1.35 will be basically 1.1.35 actually. It is first adhyaya 1, first pada 1, 35th sutra. Now, this numbering has been introduced by me. It was not originally given by the Rishi. The reason for giving this is it has been found that over the years, many of the sutras start vanishing. And to ensure that there is no further corruption in the text, I started the system of numbering them. So there are 4 adhyayas available right now. Adhyayas are like parts. Each adhyaya is a part. When I was learning, I was told that there are 8 adhyayas to the Upadesha Sutra, but I know only 4. So, as and when I shall come across more, I will surely share them with you. Now, these 4 adhyayas or 4 parts have 4 pada or feet or chapters. So each part has 4 chapters. So totally, the present available book has 16 chapters, and each of these sutras can be highly encrypted. Highly encrypted. There is a numeric encryption, there is a verbal encryption, there is a zip, and the zip and zip and we zip it so much that barely sometimes there are one words, just one word, sometimes just 2 words. And these 2 words can have such depth of meaning. And that is what the Upadesha Sutra is about. It is the only Upadesha available in Jyotish. There is no other Upadesha directly available in Jyotish. Or in other words, all the other books Be it Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, Varahamira's Brihat Samhita, everything is in a shloka format, whereas the Upadesha Sutra is the only one which is in sutra format. With this now, we progress to the first slide. Shloka 1.35 is Hora Daya Siddha. Hora Adaya Siddha. Now, what I'm going to do, you can see one sutra has got technically what is visible to you is just two words. Hora Daya Siddha. The word Hora Daya is composed of two parts. Hora and Adaya. Adaya. Adaya is also a Hindi word. Aday karna means to get something, to receive something, to take something. By any means, by putting all the effort that we have to take it, we have to seize it, we have to receive it. And this reception also happens along with mantras. Or in other words, these sutras are mantras in themselves. Very interesting. So can I say Horada Siddha is a mantra? It is a mantra because it is supposed to run inside your head continuously until the knowledge reveals itself. And the word Hora is an hour of the day. It means ahoratra, or day and night. There are 24 horas in a day. Basically, the word hora is referring to two kinds of zodiac. One is called the Sabya Chakra or Skanda Chakra, and the other one is Apasabya Chakra or Ganesha Chakra. So basically, there are two zodiacs. So far, most of you are only aware of one zodiac, a zodiac that starts from Aries and that goes around 12 signs into Pisces. But there is another zodiac that starts from Scorpio and goes in the reverse direction to Sagittarius. Now you observe these two zodiacs, draw them, study them. We will go a lot into these zodiacs as we learn these Upadesha, as we understand the secrets. Okay? Now the word Siddha, Siddha is with a long A. It's not a. It is not Siddha. It is Siddha. It is derived from Siddha and refers to the established Hora Shastra literature. Siddha can refer to a person, but Siddha can refer to either a female person or alternatively that which has been created by a Siddha, he who has accomplished the knowledge. He who has the siddhi of the knowledge is authorized to create a work which will be used for posterity. Nowadays, in Kali Yuga, as the Kali Yuga advances more and more, every Tom, Dick, and Harry is in a big hurry to write a book. My father told me a long time back, I was a kid, don't you dare touch the pen until you are very sure of what you are going to write. Because to write something on a Vedanga is a big responsibility. When you write nonsense and when you write something wrong or you misrepresent knowledge, then you are hurting the rishis. If you hurt the rishi, you will end up hurting the. If you hurt the Veda, you will hurt Shiva. You will hurt the gurus. You will hurt the parampara. Therefore, before being in a big hurry to write any book, spend your time learning it. This is a bridge. Respect the bridge. It is good to make presentations, articles, all that is good. But don't write a book in a hurry, because you do not want to say that you are a Siddha without being one. Let us go further and see what the word Siddha means. Now, this is the small a, not the long a. It's a Siddha. A Siddha is accomplished, fulfilled, effected, gained, acquired. That means you set out on a target and you accomplish it. You start reading a book, you finish the book. You make a commitment that you are going to study 10 charts with every shloka, and you fulfill that commitment. And then the knowledge of the shloka will come to you. It indicates one who has attained his object. The objective of studying a book has been attained. The object of acquiring a knowledge has been attained. The object of fully understanding a mantra and getting its energy has been attained. Do not be in a hurry to learn thousands of, unless you have the siddhi of one mantra, all the other mantras will be useless for you. The one mantra of which you must have siddhi is called your Ishta mantra. That is very important, that you must have a Ishta mantra siddhi or a Ganesha siddhi. Without that, how will the knowledge come? Even Lord Shiva has categorically mentioned that for Ganesha, that he is Vidyeshwara. He is the Ishwara of Vidya. Or in other words, he is the representative of Omkara as far as Vidya or knowledge is concerned. When you have such knowledge, you become perfect. You become perfect. And the perfection you can test. For example, when you go to give a lecture on Jyotish, do you carry some paper with you? Do you carry some thing? Do you need to refer to some books? If you do, that means you are not yet perfect. When you become perfect, you can walk into a classroom and ask the students, what subject shall I teach today? And based upon what the student wish to learn, you can teach. You do not need to refer to any book at all, for the book is in your head. That is called perfected. When you are perfected, you become beatified. And that other people think it is some kind of supernatural power. How does he remember so much? How can Hanuman become so big like a mountain and jump across to Sri Lanka? How can he become so small and like an ant and go? How can he lift a whole mountain? All these are called siddhis. Just as you have siddhis of physical prowess, you also have siddhis of mental prowess. And mental prowess is more important than physical prowess, because mental prowess is the domain of the rishis, is the domain of knowledge. Then that knowledge becomes very sacred in your head. When anything, any part of you, even a little part, becomes sacred, holy, when the holy knowledge will go inside your head and become complete jnana, then you can have some kind of a connection with divinity. And that connection is called Siddha. When you have such a connection, then all the mantras will start working. You will give the right mantras properly. You will do the mantras at the right time. You will do, for the Supreme is guiding you, is it not? You are connected. Siddha, from the point of view of argument, of a debate, is that which is valid. It is a rule as it is grammar, in grammar or in Vedanga. Siddha means it has been established to be right, admitted to be true or right, established, is settled. And it is proved. Now, there are so many other meanings, and you can see some very interesting meanings is subdued. That means you are having siddha over your senses. Are you able to subdue your senses? If you are able to subdue senses, then you have Siddha over the senses. And similarly, there are evils, temptations. Are you able to overcome these temptations? By subduing your own temptations, by subduing your anger, by subduing your own mind from fluctuating. That is the Siddhi. That is the real Siddhi. To subdue somebody else is black magic. Do not indulge in black magic, for it becomes bad karma. If you subdue somebody else and force that person by using bad mantras, then in the next life, that person will do the same to you, for that is the law of karma. What is the point of beating when you know very well that in the next life you have to be beaten? Rather, if I help somebody, in the next life you shall be helped. You do not know that you will get moksha. We are hoping we will, but there is no guarantee to that. We'll learn more on moksha later and the types of moksha. It refers to a kind of thorn apple or the bilva, the bale of Mahadev. All the fruits, this fruit is one of the Siddha. It represents Siddha. So therefore, in a homam, when there is a fire sacrifice, to offer a bilva is considered highly auspicious, for that gives Siddha. When we are doing a prayer to Shiva, to offer a bilva fruit or to have a prasad of the bilva juice is very nice. Another plant which is associated is a sort of hard sugar, Buddha. Buddha is basically jaggery, hard jaggery, and that is the offering to Narayan, to Vishnu. There is a third offering, it is the offering of sea salt. The salt offering is to Kali. Like that. There are different offerings, different kinds of offerings. And these offerings are Siddha or proven to be extremely effective. With this, we understand that the word Siddha is very wide. So you can see Horadaya Siddha can go to any direction. It can go in any direction. And it can go on and on and on. All the rishis are saying that you have to accomplish the complete study of Hora. Siddha as a noun is indicative of a semi-divine being of great purity and perfection and said to possess the 8 supernatural faculties. That is Ashtasiddhi. Ashtasiddhi is very, very difficult. Very few can accomplish it. Siddha, Muni, Rishi, etc. These are the ones who inhabit the Bhuvaloka, or the atmosphere between the earth and the heaven. That is the solar system, We think that there are no beings in the solar system. They don't exist, but that is wrong. There are many rishis, many munis who are passing through the solar system. Like rays of light, their souls travel here and there. 88 siddhas occupy the regions of the sky north of the sun. Now look at the chart on your right hand side. You will notice that the sun is in the first house and the fourth that is taken as north. So in the Surya Chakra, if you draw a chart with the sun in the first house, the first house is always east, the fourth house is north, seventh house is west, and the 10th house is south. So where are the siddhas sitting? The siddhas are sitting in the fourth house from the sun and south of the Saptarishi. Saptarishi refers to the nakshatra. Now, which nakshatra are we talking about? We are talking about the moon's nakshatra. On the right hand side, you will observe I have put a star in one. Actually, it is the moon star. From the moon, the siddhas will be seen in the 10th house. Now, technically speaking, siddhas are associated more with the sun, and the Maharishis are associated more with the moon. If you remember, who are the rishis? The rishis are the mind-born sons of Brahma. What do you mean by mind-born? Mind-born means mind is symbolized by the moon. So the rishis are born from the moon, or are indicated from the moon. Not really born from, they are born from Brahma's mind. They are not born from Brahma's body. Therefore, Brahma creates different kinds of creatures. Some come from his body and some from his mind. The rishis who are born from his mind are in the 10th from the moon, and that is where I have written Siddha. In essence, there are 88 Siddha. I think there are 11 Siddhas in each direction based upon the Ekadasha Rudra. And since there are 8 directions, 11 times 8 is 88. These Siddhas are mortal beings. They cannot die. They exist and wait till the end of the Kalpa. In the end of the Kalpa, they have to move from Bhuvaloka to Tapaloka, and then they go above by the grace. By the grace of Narayan, they are carried up to Janarloka. Siddha are always only associated with Ganesha. Keep that in mind. That means if you want to have access to any of the Siddhas, you have to seek the permission and the blessings of Ganesha. Else you cannot access the Siddhas. And if you cannot access the Siddhas, how will you accomplish Jyotish Vidya? These are problems that we need to consider and calmly, but be sure of one thing. The name of Ganesha must be in your lips all the time, every day in the morning. Jai Ganesha. Siddha as a noun. Siddha are sometimes confused with Sadhya. In some books, Siddha and Sadhya are confused. But Mantra Shastra treats Siddha as completely different. A Siddha is any inspired sage or a prophet, like Vyasa, Kapila. So many of the rishis are also Siddha. Keep that in mind. Just because somebody is a rishi doesn't mean that he cannot be Siddha. And simply because somebody is a Siddha doesn't mean that he is a rishi. For example, Hanuman is a Siddha, but is he a rishi? These are questions to debate in the head. For Siddhas are associated with the day and rishis with the night. Night or the moon, day or the sun. Moon has to do with the blood. Therefore, the rishis are the progenitors of the all creatures. Siddhas are not progenitors. This is why Hanuman never married. This is something worth debating in your head. Now, any holy personage or great saint, especially one who has attained to one of the moksha states. There are at least 5 moksha states, Sayujya, Salokya, and so many. Okay? This is something you must learn. What is moksha and what are the types of moksha? Now, any great adept in magic or one who has acquired supernatural powers is also called a Siddha loosely, but that is a very loose meaning. Simply because somebody knows a couple of magic tricks doesn't mean that he really is a Siddha. He has got some kind of a Siddha by which he is able to do a couple of tricks, that's all. Keeping that in mind, we as Jyotishi who are about to enter the Upadesha, in Kali Yuga, we must be aware that we are in Kali Yuga. And since we are in Kali Yuga, we have to do a mantra to worship He who is to be the Guru of all creatures, be it a human being, an elephant, ant, or any other human or any other creature. The Guru of all of them is Veda Vyasa. So first, you have to learn the Veda Vyasa mantra. It is Vyam with a long A. Vyam Veda Vyasaya Namah. Now on the right hand side, you will see some mantras. There are 3 mantras. On the top, Om Jum Sah. I will say Jum is with a small O. Jum. Om Jum Sah. Om Jum Sah. Now in the bottom you have Sah Jum Om. It is reversed. Now that is called protection. When we place Om Jum Sah is called the Mrityunjaya bija, or the protection of Mrityunjaya Shiva. Where does Mrityunjaya Shiva sit? He sits in our throat chakra and ensures that a drop of nectar flows down our throat. So by saying Om Jum Sa, the drop of nectar shall flow down your throat. Then you say Vyam Veda Vyasaya Nama. That means you are doing the Veda Vyasa mantra. Veda Vyasaya Nama. Then Sa Jum Om. So the full mantra. Om Jum Sa Vyam Veda Vyasaya Nama. Sa Jum Om. Om Jum Sa Vyam Veda Vyasaya Nama. Jum Om. In this manner, you are required to repeat this mantra 108 times every day in the morning. Now, this is not optional. The reason is simple, because Upadesha Sutra is a very serious learning. We need the grace of the gurus, we need their protection, we need them to remove all the hurt coming on the way in the acquisition of this knowledge. And for that, we have to worship the Paramaguru, Veda Vyasa. He is the Paratpara. He is one with Shiva. He is one with Vishnu. He is the Guru of all the Gurus. So therefore, this mantra is compulsory. At what stage are we to do this mantra? This mantra can be done only after the Ganesha mantra. So initially, you have to do the Ganesha mantra. Om Ganeshaya Namah. Or those of you who have done the Parashara Jyotish course, you know the Ganesha sadhana you have done. There is a mantra in that is the mantra that you have to do. It's based on your lagna. Then you, after that, you are supposed to do this. So one mala of the Ganesh mantra and one mala of the Veda Vyasa mantra is sufficient to get you running on the course of the Upadesha Sutras. Okay? Now, let us do a little bit of Katapayadi calculation. What is Katapayadi? Katapayadi is a method of Vedic numerology. You have studied, some of you at least have studied the lesson given where I told you that I'll be teaching you Katapayadi work. In order to do Katapayadi, you need to know the alphabets of Sanskrit. So kindly make it a priority to learn all the alphabets. Every alphabet of Sanskrit has to be learned. Those of you who shall learn it shall have Siddhi. Those of you who say it's too tough, maybe I'll only manage with English, will learn Jaimini, but you will not have Siddhi. I am being truthful with you, and as you can see, what can be done, what cannot be done, I'm spelling it out very clearly. So please find yourself a means to learn the alphabets of Sanskrit. Now I will show you how this is done. Horadaya, the Horadaya is broken up into sounds. There are 4 sounds. Hora, Daya. And these sounds are converted into numbers. 8, 2, 8, 1. Okay. And then this number has to be reversed. Reversal is a sign of Rahu. Why are we reversing things? Because of Rahu. Why does Rahu control all these things? Because he is the controller of all Maya, untruth. So we are reversing it so that we get to know the truth. We are doing a Ketu on the Rahu. If 8281 is Rahu, 1828 is a Ketu. So we are doing a Rahu, we are doing a Ketu on the Rahu. We are doing a reversal of the number. And then this number is what is known as the Mula Sankhya. Mula Sankhya means the root number. With this number, we do many things, many things. But as far as the Jaimini Upadesha Sutras are concerned, all we have to do is to divide this by 12. So we take 1828 and divide it by 12. 152.333333 is our answer. What we have to do is we ignore the integer. 152 has to be ignored. And we take the decimal and multiply that by 12. You see that? 0.333333 times 12, we get 4. So the word Horadaya gives us a numerical value of 4 for the signs. So what is 4 when it comes to the signs? Now all of you know the zodiac. From Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Cancer is the fourth sign. Or if we are talking about a horoscope, we are talking about the fourth house of learning called the Vidya Bhava. Therefore, Horadaya automatically maps to Vidyeshwara Ganesha. So mathematically, Jaimini Maharshi is telling us, kindly worship Ganesha. Acquire the mantra of Ganesha. Adaya is to acquire. Get the mantra of Ganesha. Get the Siddhi of Ganesha. Do the Siddhi of Ganesha. That is another hidden meaning of the sutra. How interesting, huh? How interesting. Vidya Bhava Horadaya. We will learn more about Katapayadi Vargas. Now that is something. We have to learn Vedic numerology also. You must learn everything about Hora Shastra. That is what the Rishi is trying to tell you. Everything. How do we learn everything? Everything with the word everything is associated with the word Brihat. Brihat means everything, huge, gigantic. Parashara, Hora Shastra. So when we fully learn Parashara, we have complete, or we have a very thorough knowledge. We have a Siddhi. We are ready for Siddhi. So Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra has to be studied, but it is not easy to learn Brihat Parashara. The whole idea about Brihat Parashara is to even get there. You need some knowledge of other books like Jataka Parijata and Saravali. These two books, along with Brihat Samhita, along with other books of Varaha Mihira, have been of great help to me in understanding Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra. So in other words, I think some of you are typing out there, and that is again causing disturbance.
Now unmuted.
Okay. In addition, there are books like Prashna Marga or Krishniyam. Krishniyam is very difficult to understand. Very, very difficult. You need a guru, otherwise you will not be able to even step into that book. Pick up Prashna Marga. Doctor has done a fantastic translation of that. So pick up that book. Brihat Nakshatra is my book. I don't know any other book on Nakshatra, which is very good. I suggest that you get Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, Jataka Parijata, Saravali, Prashna Marga, and Brihat Nakshatra. These 5 books you get, and you always keep them near you so that they are immediately available for reference. And whenever you have time, start reading them and go through them. Okay? So that is the explanation, broad explanation, or one of the major explanations of this sutra. Rishi and Siddha. Who are the 18 years of Jyotish? This is something you have learned. You should know their names. You need to know their names because they have the power to guide your mind. And one of them is Veda Vyasa. So therefore, the best solution is the mantra that has already been given to you. And Veda Vyasa is right here on planet Earth. And he is guiding us. So why not worship him so that he will easily guide you? Who did Parashara worship to have this knowledge? Jyotish? This is question number 2. You need to go study Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra. If I mean you are learning Germany, and this sutra is telling you that please read Brihat Parashara before coming to my class. So pick up the book Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra and find out who did Parashara worship. Who should I worship and how to do it? This is the question number 3. You look at your own horoscope and get to know which form of Ganesha you need to worship. What is your Ganesha mantra? Also, you need to be very clear in your head about Vyasa mantra. Other things you need to study, you can study. But make a list. This is question number 3. Who are the Siddha? This is something open for research. And therefore, these questions, particularly question number 4, you can answer in the list, in the forum. And I will see to what extent I can also participate with you. Jupiter alone represents the Rishi and Siddha. He is the Karaka. Jupiter can represent the Rishi and the Siddha. Keep that in mind. Period of Siddhi is seen from the sun, 4th house. What does that mean? Because that is what the shloka said, right? The shloka, which I got from one of the books, told me that the 4th from the sun is the Siddha and the 10th from the moon is the Rishi. So, in the 4th house from the sun, I shall know when to do the Siddhi. That is one of the important secrets, you see. The subject or the Rishi is the 10th house from the moon. Now, we will go into that separately. Right now, these are some points. Here are some questions. Get started. Okay? Thank you for this, joining me in this JSP Hello. So now I'm going to unmute you and we can have a little.
Now unmuted.